Good. Welcome to Virtual Comedy Show. I think tonight we're going to disprove the old saying, the show must go on. I think we need to maybe just let it not go on. Tim Kavanaugh's look, what happened there? My button broke. Okay, that's what kind of show problem? Oh, great.
Malfunction.
Oh, my God. What?
You still hear me?
This
is Tim
God.
Kavanaugh.
Steve knows how to sew it on.
So not only was Tim Kavanaugh, he's our guest, our singer, and our comedian, but we can't get him to work very well. So good. Well, welcome. So in addition to that, we of course have Patty Vasquez, who's always perfect. Yay. And Steve Goody, who's also here and picked me up from the airport today. So that was nice. Wasn't that my 24-hour journey across? Wow. And we can't wait to hear you, Tim, even if it's sans guitar.
Thank you. If you can still hear me.
We can hear you.
Can still hear you?
We can hear you.
All right, good.
Just do everything you've done 40 times in a row on Bob and Tom. I think that's exactly
That's exactly what I'm planning on doing.
That's a fantastic idea. Why didn't we think of that?
Fantastic.
It works for Bob and Tom. It'll work for us.
It's the Brad and Steve radio hour.
That's right. Hey, we could do radio. We could do it. So anyway, and yes, everybody who's been following me, which is nobody, I got home this afternoon after leaving Cartagena, Colombia at 1 p.m. yesterday.
Wow.
I left Cartagena. Then I went to Bogota, Colombia. Then I went to New York City and wasn't offered drugs till Nashville. So figure that out. And I have to say that so many people complain. Like I travel quite a bit, as you may know, and people complain all the time about going to these other countries and they're trying to get gouged. The taxi driver's trying to gouge you. The guy selling the thing is trying to gouge you. And yes, look. The taxi driver I took yesterday in Cartagena, he did charge me double because he knew I had only 15 minutes to get to the airport and I was already 2 hours late and I had no other choice. I could have gotten it cheaper. I could have gotten it for half as much if I could have just found another taxi. But you know what? Even at double the price, it was still cheaper than my Starbucks order when I got to New York. You know what I mean? I took a taxi in Egypt once. My daughter and I jumped in a taxi in Cairo, and everyone told me that the taxi drivers really jack up the prices on foreigners. And oh yeah, he did, boy. He doubled it. I'm telling you, I keep paying double. You know what the original price was? 80 cents. That's what it was. He charged me $1.50. And I gave him $5. I gave him and he cried. He cried because I gave him $5. So it makes me sad. And when you go to restaurants in Mexico and other islands, people are always saying, you ever heard this? Make sure to demand the local menu because they have a tourist menu and they have a local menu, don't they? And the English menu's prices are higher. And you know what I say? They should be. They should be higher. They should be a lot higher because Americans suck. That's why we're terrible. We should be paying twice what locals are paying or more because you're not a local. And it's your job to make them glad you're there and not like in Spain where they're chasing us out, spitting and screaming, right? If they're nice, give them all the money you got. You've got the money. Give them the money. The place where they really screw you is here in the United States. I paid an extra $10 to a lady in St. Lucia who literally, hand sewed me a shirt. And it was only $13. Now compare that to I jumped in a car in Galveston to go to Houston, and it's usually $75. He demanded $350 when we got to the airport. I know. That's crazy. I know. So now I will say this. There are things I will not stand, and that is people being pushy or doing like there's a big thing they do in a lot of places now where a guy will just walk up and he'll try to pick up your bag or take your bag to carry it for you and then demand a tip. And that's when I say, no. I said, matter of fact, you'd be surprised how quickly I turn into a man who has a new puppy and expensive shoes.
Okay, who's got their radio
iPhone
on?
guest comes in and immediately their thing's on.
I got him.
And screwed up that joke. Thank you.
All right.
Hit the
punchline. You're doing great.
Yeah, no, it was fine until I just said drop it because you're talking to him like, okay, great. Well, screw the end of that joke and let's just move on to the regular jokes. Damn it. You know, we had it going so good.
Best show ever.
Ban them from the show. That's right. And Tim Cavanaugh's back. I didn't know he was gone.
Oh, we might have two of him, like we said.
Hey, we might have him on the computer. So great. Well, bag this crap. Okay, here we go. Now the iPhone is joke number uno. Port workers on all coasts are threatening to strike this week, which means there could be a major disruption in goods coming into the country.
Yep.
One solution I have is just have immigrants coming across the border bring stuff with them. I see that as a win-win. Welcome in. Thanks for bringing my Tunisian rug. Now, can you work on the yard?
That's so simple.
It's so simple. They say we won't notice it first. You don't notice it first if the strike, but if it goes on too long, there'll be shortages in chocolate, booze, fruit, bananas, and cherries, meaning millions of bar mitzvahs and quinceañeras will not have a chocolate fountain. Steve, do you have a chocolate fountain at your bar mitzvah?
I don't remember. I was so drunk.
Well, you were a man. You were a man that day. Oh, man. The high stakes VP debate will be tomorrow. And by high stakes, I mean J.D. Vance will lie so much, we'll all wonder if he's high. That's how. One of the highlights will be when Tim Walz explains Kamala Harris's economic plan while setting the timing on a 64 Skylark. 3 degrees past.
Top dead center.
Top dead center. And where's that from?
Well, that's from My Cousin Vinny. Or
My Cousin Vinny, exactly.
Any auto manual, yes.
Any auto manual. All right. Hey, the V. So that's how you know how I know nothing about cars. I had to get that joke from My Cousin Vinny. I couldn't even pick a different car. I had to pick
that's right.
an actual car from Cousin Vinny.
Yeah, lime green or whatever it was. Yeah.
It would never be confused with the Corvette.
No, could never.
Right.
Never.
Meanwhile, my biological clock going like
It's
this.
ticking along.
All right.
The Utes.
2 Utes.
2 Utes. And then Herman Munster. I couldn't watch that movie and not think Herman Munster. That's all.
His law degree finally kicked in.
That's right. Ooh,
Are you mocking me?
Guilty.
What? No.
Got this ridiculous thing just for you.
All right.
Oh, I got, and Sulu, that was so earnest. I thought you were actually asking us that. Carry on, Brad.
Tulu's very earnest.
Yes, she is.
Yes. Ernest Goes to
important
Camp,
to be
my
earnest.
favorite film.
I got that.
Oh, good. Your dad's here. We've been vamping till your dad
Thank
gets
God. All right, let's go. Let's get
All
real.
right, here we go. The VP debate between Tim Walz, everyone's dad, and JD Vance, everyone's creepy uncle, will be tomorrow on CBS. CBS promises they will keep things on track and let people know they'll be fact-checking Vance's lies the moment he says them by looking up uncomfortably and whistling. That's going to be their tactic. All right. Here's a really, really long one with only one punchline. Wanted to let you know. There's a new book out about the first computer dating service. Does anyone know what year the first computer dating service was?
1911.
Yes, exactly.
1968.
It preempted World War I. 1965, though, actually.
That's the year I was
called
born.
Operation Match. It was created by some Harvard classmates in 1965 as a way to meet girls. And it was super successful for everyone, but the 2 dudes who created it, because no one was going to date those nerds. Until 1980 when they did Revenge of the Nerds. Okay. Unlike today's apps like Match and Tinder and Farmers Only, this one you filled out a really long questionnaire where a man in 1965, a man could say he would only date women who were obedient, sexy, and not smart. That was one of them. That's right. Chuck, you think you want to jump in on that? The other choice in 1965 was men could say they wanted sexy, dumb, and will tell the police she tripped.
Yeah. Oh God. Oh my God.
1965, everybody. Luckily, today we're much more progressive than that, as now on the app you just swipe right for yes and left for Diddy.
Ah.
So it's the same thing. That's the joke.
Yeah. Look who's up on the news.
Look who's up on the news. Not even news. Choi Soon-hwa, y'all know her.
I do.
Hopes to be the oldest woman to be in the Miss Universe contest at 81.
Nice.
First, couple obstacles. First, she must win Miss South Korea. And second, why am I in a bikini?
I love it.
I know. I just heard somebody saying something. Was that somebody doing? Okay, her. Okay.
I don't know.
Oh man, this is okay. The space race is always there. The Chinese say they will have astronauts on the moon by 2030. And if that goes well, by 2032, the moon will be where the UPS tracking number says the iPhone case you bought on Amazon 6 months ago is.
Wow.
That was a lot of words.
That was a lot.
But you get the concept. That's where
So good.
I know.
It was.
Uh-oh. A man walked 30 miles in Hurricane Helene. Was it Hurricane Helene? Was that what it's called?
Yeah.
I got blurry out there. I'm back. A man walked 30 miles in Hurricane Helene destruction to get to Johnson City, Tennessee, to walk his daughter down the aisle at her wedding.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Upon arriving, the daughter hugged her dad and said, "Did you bring the checkbook? We still owe $3,200 for the flowers." Because that's all dad's good for.
And
I
half
paid
our
my-
audience is saying, "What's a checkbook?"
Chuck is like, "What's a checkbook?" Chuck, you ever written a check?
No. I know what a checkbook is.
Okay.
Jeff has one.
I write that many myself.
You're cute.
Aw, so cute. We're hard on Chuck. We're sorry.
Oh God.
Yeah, but she has 75, 80, 90 years to live, and the rest of
Yeah.
us don't. If you add up all the years the rest of us have to live together, Chuck gets all those.
Yeah.
And we're awful angry about it. A pet turtle. What? All right.
It's okay. Carry on.
A pet turtle was found alive after 30 years in the attic of the family that owned it.
Oh, wow.
Yep, 30 years. The owner said Manuela the tortoise finally came down from the attic after 30 years and without the chess set they sent him up there for. He's got to go back. They won't play till 2064. Oh, Pete Rose died today.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's sad.
Mm-hmm.
Pete Rose at 83. Pete was one of the greatest players to ever play the game, but was banned, of course, from the Hall of Fame. In his final words before passing, Charlie Hustle put down 600 that said he'd beat that old bat from Downton Abbey to heaven.
God.
Oh.
Wow.
10-1. Maggie Smith's family will take that bet. That's her name, right? Maggie Smith. What was her
Yes,
name?
you got it exactly
Very
right.
good.
Well done.
Yeah. Okay, good. I went with Downton Abbey instead of McGonagall. That was smart.
Respect that.
What do we have left? Two more. Hey, that Ryan Routh pleaded not guilty to attempting to assassinate disgraced felon ex-president Donald Trump. Now, Routh said he would plead guilty if before the word attempting, they put the word pathetically.
Ah.
He pathetically attempted
Mhm.
because he didn't even attempt. There was no attempt. I don't know what the hell they were talking
Who are
about.
we kidding?
He attempted to sit with a gun in a bush. That's fantastic. And
And he
probably got hired to do
succeeded.
it. And lastly, and I shouldn't have put this last because I don't think there's a joke.
Right.
As Trump's crowds dwindle, the tangerine toadstool is becoming more and more unhinged. Last week at his rally, he called Kamala Harris mentally impaired Andy said that he has a much more beautiful beach body than Sleepy Joe. Picture that in your head.
Do I have to?
Yes.
Don't
Thanks,
Next week, Don will announce an even bigger lie that his crocheting makes Ella Emnoff look like an amateur and makes Janice look second
Yeah.
rate. She's not second
Hey,
rate.
I'm not that.
All right, Steve, that's the end of that. Let's
I wasn't sure that was the end. Yay, Brad
Yes.
Tassell!